What's up? Hello, birds. What's up? Welcome back to the worm and all that stuff. It finally happened. We have like 5 days in a row that are absolutely perfect. Like, this is probably the perfect week of the entire spring out here. Highs in the low 50s, sunny, no wind, mid 30s overnight, so great sleeping. It's going to be fantastic. So I really want to get that shower finished up. I dug through my shingle pile and I have enough shingles to do it, I think. And I also found some leftover drip edge. We'll see if it's enough to do the whole thing. You know, the first couple things I built, I think I built the deer castle and the gazebo without drip edge. I'm still not completely sure in my brain if it's necessary, but you know, I got the stuff for almost free at a secondhand building store, so I figure I might as well throw it on there. I should be able to get the roof on in no time, certainly today. It won't take long. It's perfectly flat, almost square, low pitch so you can walk on it, and nothing sticking through it. So it's just, I mean, it's as simple as it could possibly get. I'll probably have to mill up some more cedar logs. Let's see, I've got 6 big cedar logs left, nice and straight, at least 11 feet long, so it'll be quick and easy to put the back wall on the shower, and then I'll have to figure out the 2 side walls. And then the snap-on sides I'm not going to need until this fall or this winter, so I don't think I'm going to rush with that right now. Maybe if I should have a lot of scraps, so I could build some shelves in there. I want to put a seat in there, a bigger seat than I had in the other one. I don't know, a bunch of other stuff that'll just pop into my head as we go. It's not really a plan, but as always, I think the fun in doing this stuff is figuring it out. It's not even so much building it, it's definitely not having it, it's figuring out how to do it. That's what I think is such a blast. That's also why I tend not to look stuff up when I'm building stuff. I don't like to, you know, I don't ask anybody for suggestions or help figuring stuff out. I just like to weasel my way through it and see what comes out in the end. So, shall we get to it? Alright, got all my goods rounded up. We got some really old roofing nails. Don't know where those might be from my dad. Got a few leftover 3-tab shingles from, what was that from? Maybe the gazebo? Yeah, the gazebo and the deer castle. Those I got from, I think, Facebook Marketplace. It was like leftover from when somebody did their house. I got like 9 packs of those, so that's nearing the end of that. That'll be for that very first little bit on the roof. And then I got some architectural shingles left over from the man cave. Even found a half roll of tar paper, which I don't know if that'll be enough to do the whole roof or not. I'm not very good at estimating that kind of stuff. Damn dinosaurs are everywhere. This is my kind of roof. 3 courses of tar paper and you're done. That was the quickest roof I ever did. Fantastic. Crap. I mean, I don't want to brag, but you know, I am a well above average sleeper. I've got some serious sleeping skills, especially out here. I don't think I've had a single night where I didn't sleep fantastic, even if, you know, there might be some thunder or some animals around, whatever you wake up for. Last night I slept horribly and really had no idea why, and just now I'm feeling a little tickle in my throat, and walking over there my legs feel like lead, and that sucks. I get sick during the best week of, probably the best week of the decade out here. You know, most of you know that colds are far, far worse on men, harder on men than they are on women. Women wouldn't even understand the pain and discomfort we go through. So while I'm normally a phenomenal sleeper, I am horrible at being sick. It like just crushes my soul. I'm such a wuss when I get sick. I hope it doesn't get too bad. I can feel I'm starting to lose my voice too. Well, get this roof cut off and then figure out what I'll do for the next couple days. Make sure I'm not cutting my drip edge. No, it feels good. Nice to keep an old junker battery powered skill saw just for this, just for cutting shingles. Far easier than using a knife. Ooh, looks great. Love it. Sweet. It's not much to look at, but that there is a 5-hour roof, including a snack, so that's fantastic. Glad to be done with it. Not a fan of doing roofs. Alright, we need some things and some stuff like that. I think I'm gonna have to make some more lumber. I'm gonna make at least a 2x4 or 2x6 maybe, a real nice one for this brace. I mean, by the time the wall boards and everything are on and all the rest of the bracing and studs or whatever you want to call them, it'll all be pretty strong, but I gotta take this stuff off in order to put the wall on here, so might as well make this first brace pretty stout so the thing doesn't fall over in the meantime. I'm just thinking like corner to corner like that maybe. What do you think? That look good? I can't tell from out there, so you're gonna have to let me know. That's good? Okay. We'll do something like that. So I guess that's what, 8 feet long. So we need 2 8-foot 2x4, 2x6, something like that. And then I got some scrap 2x4s that, you know, aren't the full 3.5 inches wide like this. They got a little live edge on them or something, but I could use those to maybe fill in like this, and then I'd have those to connect the wall boards to. Maybe it'd look cool if the wall boards went at an angle like that, just like that first brace does. So I could either put them all like that, put them all like that. I guess I could put them all up and down. I don't know. I guess we'll think about it. Well, I'm not really going to think about it, but I don't have to make a decision until I make those 2x6s. Alright, 2 8-foot 2x6s, and maybe a nap. I'm crashing hard. What do I do? Just keep moving. Just going to lean my ladders up against this tree. Look at this thing. Got a pretty good bend in it right there. Apparently I shoot low in general. That's the first target when I do my walkabout shooting range. It starts over here. Really the first targets are over there, and then it goes along that side of the property. But this is the first one. You can shoot this from the man cave. So you get all loaded up, stand in the door, shoot this one, and apparently, I mean, there are quite a few misses up here. I mean, I hate to say that I miss. I mean, I don't really. I do that all on purpose, but apparently I do it more on purpose low than high. That tree's days are numbered. You know, I was just remembering, I do still have a monster pine 2x under here. Look at that sucker. That thing is enormous. It's like I don't know how big that is. 15 inches there, and that's the skinny end. That's the fat end down there. That thing is gigantism. I mean, even this is just scraps from doing the framing for the floor of the man cave. And the scrap is 8 inches wide, and it is nice and sticky. Holy moly. Yeah, that would be fine for the 2x6s for the shower. I'm tempted to use that just because I don't have to get the milling stuff out. I'm still going to need more boards to close in the back. Yeah, 1-inch boards to do the back wall, and then those corner side walls. So I guess I'm going to have to mill anyway. I kind of do like the idea of doing the entire shower 100% out of cedar. If nothing else, just as kind of an experiment. All this other stuff I've built is all a mix of woods. I mean, like, you know, siding's all cedar and framing's all pine or whatever it is, but it'd be cool just to build the entire thing out of cedar and then see how it weathers over the years. You know, if it doesn't hold up very well for floor joists. Holy cow, that is a big bumblebee. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna mill it. I'm gonna do 100% cedar. We'll just see what happens. Holy moly, I feel like total garbage warmed over. I took the day off yesterday. Of course, the day off, I can't really sit still all day, so I did a lap of the shooting range in the morning, and then I did another one in the evening. Probably shot 500 rounds of 22, and then at some point I figured I was going to put a 12-volt socket in my four-wheeler because it didn't come with one, and in the afternoon I look at it and like the entire four-wheeler is taken apart on the ground. The racks are off, all the plastic, everything. It got a little carried away. I'm trying to get up the gumption to mill a couple logs, and it's actually kind of good. I'm finding these things that I've been putting off, little things that I just don't want to stop to do. I want to build this, I want to do that, and once I get started, you can't stop me. But I got a couple little chores done already that are kind of low impact, and just got my tent taken down. I decided it's not going to snow anymore, so the winter tent is down. Actually, so I took the tent down and I threw it. I was thinking, when am I going to be back in this again? What's going to be my brain state when I do? Am I going to be pissed because it's winter again? So I threw a $20 bill on the inside of the tent that I'm sure I'll forget about by tomorrow, so that when the snow does roll around again, I'll put the tent up and be like, oh, 20 bucks, and I'll just go out and buy myself a treat, and that'll make it all worth it. So if I happen to mention a free 20 bucks that I'm going to go spend on who knows what in 6-8 months, you'll know where it came from. I love camping, I love being in tents, and I actually do really enjoy the change of the seasons. You know, like taking down this tent means it's going to be real nice weather for a little while, and then when I switch from my summer 2-man tent to the 4-man tent, it means my girlfriend will probably start coming up here again and visiting. And then when I go back to the winter tent, it's like the heat's gone, the bugs are gone, I get to buckle down for the winter. It's really kind of fantastic. Let's see what else we got in here we need. Most of the winter I can't even get to these because there's such a big hill of snow right here. Aha! Can't live without the bug smokers. I actually really like this little tent. Big Agnes, super cheap. 2.5 man all bug net. it's really a little bit too summery for right now when the temperatures are still down in the, you know, high 20s, low 30s at night, but I'll survive. I still have my winter sleeping bag good down to like 0, so should be fine. You know, I've spent a good portion of my life sleeping in the mud. I don't mind it if there's a reason to sleep in it, but it is really nice having this tent platform. It was unquestionably the best choice as a first thing to build out here. I have to change my tents, what, 3 to 4 times a year. And just being able to pull screws out and put them in instead of stakes, and then like having trees and stuff to attach the guy lines to. A few interesting things I've found in the last couple days now that things are really thawing out. You guys probably remember that this thing's built on 2 stumps on that side, and these are just round sitting on the ground. So I realized like a month or 2 ago that this door was just swinging open on its own. Doesn't do it anymore. So the ground is thawed and that side's gone back down. It's back to level. I put a level on it. It was probably a couple inches off on that end over the winter. It's level again. My stump walking up there is almost not usable anymore. Look at this. This just happened just in the last 2 days. 2 days ago I was using this little table that I made out of rounds and it was perfectly level. Now look at that thing. It's interesting, you can see the ground where that side's sitting. It was just sitting flat on the ground and it's been there for what, 2 years now. That side I cut up a bunch of lumber, ripped lumber, and there's a huge pile of sawdust on that side, so I think it's insulating all the ice down there, snow and ice. So my guess is in the next few days, I think it's supposed to stay warm for a few days, that thing will probably level itself back out, but it's not very usable right now, is it? All right, I don't really have the energy, but I'm gonna mill up 2 logs. I think 2 is gonna be enough. I'm gonna take some 1-inch boards off, then the middle of a fat log. I'm gonna take a 1.5, make those 2x4s or 2x6s out of that, and then the rest of it 1-inch. And then I'll probably just do 1 more log since I got all the stuff out and mill that all into 1-inch. And I think that with the scraps that I've already got over there, I should be able to close the whole thing in. So I'm gonna go mill unless one of you guys wants to do it and I could just take a nap. Nobody? Yeah, I'll do it. The ground's a different shape without all the snow on it. It's lighter than I thought it would be. It's already starting to season. Grr, I don't know if it's gonna make it. These need to be 8-footers for the cross bracing. This is probably 9 or 10, and I got a bad spot here, which likely doesn't go very far, but I kind of hate to try to cut a 1.5-inch board out of that and have just enough of it be rotten that I can't rip it down the middle for 2 braces. So I guess the rest of this log's just going to be 1-bys. Anyway, you guys just take a break, you know, get a cup of coffee, have a beer or something. We'll get back together when I get all these milled up. You don't want to see a sick guy struggle with a chainsaw, do you? You do? No, you don't. I found some really good boards in one of these. Normally, you either get like a really light color cedar or this darker one. And on the dark ones, it's just a little strip of sapwood on the outside that's white. I milled into this one, and it had really nice stripes on it. I think it made me think of bacon or something, so I had to keep them. So I was planning on getting the fat log and ripping it down the middle for a 2x4 and a 2x4 or 2x6, 2x6, whatever. And these were so nice and so pretty. I just cut two 1.5-inch boards, so these are 1.5 inches thick. Isn't that cool stripe on there? Just love it. So I'm gonna put some big fat ones, one for each side, just that diagonal brace. I think that's gonna look great. Oh, that's it. I'm done. I don't know how you're supposed to have any fun feeling like this. What am I supposed to do? Just go sit there? Oh, it's a shame to waste such a perfect day. They're such a rarity, but that's it for the day. I go drop my lumber off over there and, I don't know, go lay on the floor with the bugs. I got my work clothes on. My body and brain and sinuses can't decide if I'm actually going to do anything. So I decided I'd go over and burn up all my building scraps from all winter, which shouldn't take long. It's all real small stuff, and carve some names in the picnic table. So what did I come over here for? Tripod. Okay, we're getting there. Hopefully the wind's going the right way. If it's blowing at the picnic table, I'm not going to sit there and wear a respirator. I don't think my stuffy head can take a lungs full of smoke today. Filling up the table here. Mark C. Now that I'm back to doing my editing and everything from out here on the computer, I have basically no internet connection, so a lot of these names I guessed at. If you guys do happen to donate to the channel on Patreon the first time you do it, if you want a name different than your screen name, some of them I just guessed from the email addresses. You just have to send a note along with your first payment, and then I can figure out what you want carved in the table. Some of you don't want it, make sure you say that too. I tried getting on there this morning and I couldn't even get the website to work. It's not the website's fault, it's definitely being out here with I don't have a really fast internet connection for some reason. I mean, you'd think since I don't have power or running water that I'd have good internet, but it didn't work that way. So sorry if I misguessed your names. Alright, that'll do it. That gets us a little bit caught up. For anybody that's thinking about donating money on Patreon, again, it's $5 or more. Donate whatever you want. But if it's at least $5 and you're patient, wait a few months. I put the names on the table. It takes me a while to get up a list of names to carve, and then to actually carve it and get it in a video. And of course, the videos are made well before you ever see them. So thanks for being patient. Now what do? I kind of still feel like garbage, but I think this is the last perfect day like this, and then the wind's supposed to really kick out. It's supposed to be gusting, I think, over 35 the next couple days. I gotta get something done today. I'll give it a go. If I crash, I crash, and we call it a day. And thanks again. It's amazing you guys do this, donate to this. The only reason I've been out here longer than the first few months is because people donate and give me a few shekels to allow me to survive out here. Thank you. Man, that cedar dust messes up my sinuses so much. And when they're already a little messed up, I can't even imagine. I wouldn't be able to breathe for like a month, so I'm not doing any of this without a respirator. If you see me doing something with the cedar boards and not a respirator, you say something. Don't worry, I held my breath. Wow, that's a nice fit. Didn't really plan how I'm going to put this together. I just thought that looks like a good place to stick that in. I don't know how I'm going to screw that together. Now that I've cut that, put it in place, I'm thinking, so I wanted to keep the entire outside of this flush. I don't really want anything sticking out because I want to be able to snap canvas onto this. At least this open corner, this is going to be filled in. And now that I think of it, putting it like this, that's not going to allow me to do that. I guess, you know, for the wall, I guess the wall can go on top of this as long as I don't cover it all the way up to here. Maybe I just go halfway up and then I leave this space here to snap the canvas onto. So maybe I do that, just put the wall boards on outside like this, and then somehow cut them off in a straight line down the middle of that. Does that sound good? I don't know. Then I also have to figure out how to put a couple more studs in here. I guess I could just fit two like that. The studs are just going to be kind of like cut at an angle and stuffed up here and maybe toenailed in, which shouldn't really matter that much because once all the wall boards on there, it's going to keep them from moving around. Who am I trying to convince, you or me? Let's just keep going and see what happens, how it comes out. I think that's how you're supposed to do it. I lost my IKEA Wilderness shower manual, but I think that's how they said to do that. You know I'm a very wealthy man because I'm using screws instead of nails. It's actually because I only have screws here. The nails are like 100 feet over there and I don't really have the energy to go get them, so we're going rich, going big. I'm so rich that I elect to shower outdoors. That's how you know a dude's got money. Isn't that the standard metric? I think so. Where does it get clean? In the woods. Oh man, that guy. Filthy rich. Well, I'm down with that. It's gonna be nice to have, I think I'll leave the burner and maybe the fuel bottle back in the corner here. And then it's got some cover from this. That's a little bit walled in. It's not really a whole lot in here that's gonna make a difference if it gets wet, except that burner, it does get kind of rusty, so it'd be nice to tuck it away back there. I'm gonna snap some lines and rip up some of these long boards that I made yesterday. So I'll probably use a couple of these long ones, and then I'm going to go through the rest of my scrap pile here. And there's some in there that are, you know, 6 feet long or something. This is again my way of saving lumber. I could rip this whole thing the same width all the way down, but instead I pieced two together where the short board is a little bit wider, and then continue the top line from one onto the other, if that makes any sense. If I'd have just ripped it all as short as that end, it would be, I would have lost like this much lumber. So they're all at zigzaggy angles, but it saves the most lumber. Good use of firewood. Remember the old days when I used to do this with the chainsaw? Pathetic. Alright, let's close these in. I think it would look cooler to put it together at an angle, but when you do that, it takes a lot longer board to span two studs. If you go side to side, board only needs to be this long. If you go at an angle, it needs to be that long, which just makes a lot more scraps, and I don't really have enough long boards to probably do this at an angle, so I guess we'll just start at the bottom and go side to side. Pretty sure these nails are way too long. I guess I have to go hope for some shorter ones somewhere. You see how I caught that right away? I'm just so on top of stuff. Nothing sneaks by me. Oh, we got a mix of nails in here. Uh-oh. Man, wonder how old these are. This was a $3 box. Originally $16, probably in what, the 70s or something? Habitat for Humanity Restore. That's how we do all this for almost free. They're 2.5, and I got 2.5 inches of lumber there, so I'm gonna have to put these in at a little bit of angle so you don't lose your shin inside here. That looks amazing. Love it. Looks way cooler than even I'd pictured. So I thought I was kind of SOL here. All I've got left are some scraps. None of that's the right size. I just had that board and then a pile of junk. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to go mill up another log, I guess. That's how I'm going to spend the rest of the day. And then I realized we still got 2 boards on the trailer. Nice long ones. Man, I'm still feeling like total crap. I think this is like day 4 or day 5 with the sore throat, and running nose that won't stop. More than likely I'm gonna dehydrate to death from a runny nose. I don't know if that's possible, but this big windstorm is just starting. I don't think it's supposed to get too bad today, but tomorrow's gonna be nar. So I'll probably take the day tomorrow to get groceries and go do laundry and maybe upload a video or something. So gotta get this finished right now. I had to pull the tarp off the old shower here and kind of rearrange it to make it useful last night. I needed a shower bad. And not while I showered, but afterwards, I was doing something in the man cave there and I killed a mosquito. So probably by the time I get this thing put together, which would be in the next couple days, I'll have to hang the mosquito net up in there. The two best times of the year to shower out here are early spring and late fall. It's that time on either side of extreme cold, but where all the mosquitoes and bugs are dead. It's glorious. I'm afraid I'm missing out on the best part of the year right now. I'm not missing out, I just mean showering. You know what I mean. Always use garbage wood whenever you can. Yeah. Might as well pretty up the edges. I could wait until I'm done, do it all at the same time, but this just seems like too much fun. Stellar, absolutely stellar. I don't know if you can see through the cracks in all those boards there, but those will have to be caulked. I think I'm going to wait until the fall to do it. Let them dry out and shrink up. No sense in caulking it twice. Doesn't need to be done now anyway. Also going to leave the eaves up here open. Won't make any difference at all until we got to put a heater in there. I'll have to fill the holes in up there underneath the rafters to hold heat in the winter, and then the canvas will snap on the entire face of it all the way down to the bottom here. Probably have to put like a zipper door in here. Want to make it fairly easy to go in and out, because in the winter, I mean, also kind of like right now I have buckets of water that I just get from the runoff back here and let them settle, let all the junk settle out to the bottom, and then put a little bit of bleach in it to kill the creepy crawlies. In the winter, I still haven't figured out where I'm going to get water in the winter. I know it was discussed in many earlier videos, but it'd be cool to put a well in here. Maybe someday I'll try it, but you can't dig a cat hole here without hitting rock. It's real nice and squishy till you get through the top, and then everything is like big boulders in there. So not too easy to drive your own well. For now, I like the way this is set up. I like going right there to get water, you know, just get it when I need it. And then of course, right about now I'm going to start filling the water tank up, the water tower, so that I have running water to go here. You know, there's all these things, like even this is, it's getting to be where it's not really camping anymore, which I'm totally okay with. I mean, it'll get to some point out here where everything's so cozied up and figured out that I'll want to leave here and go camp. But for now, it's fun just to kind of like just let it go and see what this whole place turns into. I almost feel in a way like I'm working towards living in a house. Like I'm going to end up like, oh, it'd be easier if electricity would be easier instead of having a little tiny Jackery battery and a couple solar panels. I could set out, like, do a big solar array and get a battery bank, and then instead of getting water from the runoff out here, I could make a well. And I don't know, eventually I think it's going to get too comfortable out here. I'm not really going to enjoy it that much. For the time being, we're just going to keep on keeping on like we are. So I'm going to see if I can get that propane tank in here. I think I can. It's not too high up there. I can just tip it over and roll it in. It's less than half full. I used that tank the entire last year, from basically this time last year through to now, and there's still propane in it. That's to heat up every bit of water for every shower I've taken out here, and showers for everybody that comes and visits. So it lasts a long time. I was hoping I could get away with just hauling out once a year, you know, when Tito's here or something, have him help me throw it on the trailer and then get it out to the gas station or whatever, fill it up. But it's, I don't know, that might make it halfway through summer. Anyway, what was I talking? Oh yeah, let's try to get that in here and at least set it up, see how it looks. And then I'm probably about done for the day. It's about 5 o'clock. Next video, the fun part. You know, you're living a good life when everything you do you find really fun, and you're constantly going, oh, the next part's going to be really fun, oh, the next thing's going to be even more fun. But the next thing that's going to be really fun is putting shelves in here, figuring out places to hang the towels and everything. I'd like to probably import my clothes hanger in there, since it's been signed by everybody that's been out here, used the shower. I don't know that I'm going to get that monster log in there, so I have to build a new bench. Just bunches of fun stuff. So let's see if we can drag this thing in here. Oh man, that sucker's still pretty heavy. There's nothing to grab onto. Oh yeah. Wow, this is way more gourmet than this always happens. I just go, I'm gonna build the simplest thing I can think of to take care of a basic need, and then it gets really out of control like this. The idea of this was just replacing that tarp basically that was over the old shower, and now it's basically like half a cabin out here. It'll be just fine. Somehow I'll deal with it. Also, see, I gotta figure out how to make the floor drain a lot better. You know, I also wonder if maybe I should try the sealer on this floor. I got those couple gallons of Goodwill sealer. I gave them a shake and they were still liquid, so I bought them. It's like $3 a gallon. Huh. Wonder if I should do the floor so it just doesn't keep soaking up all the water. I don't know. The gods will give me a sign if it needs to be done. Until I make some shelves, at least we can have a lot of nails. This thing's great. Don't you think? I think so. I'd be proud to shower here every single day for the rest of my life, regardless of the weather or my mental stability. This is sweet. All right, well, till next week. I'm gonna try to get out of here tomorrow, do laundry, and get a video uploaded for you guys. And probably the next video will be the sexy part of building a shower, finishing off all the fun stuff. I think I have a couple of really cool old oil lamp. Oh yeah, I got one right here. Real old German oil lamp that Tito found for me. Oh yeah, we have to have a shoe shelf in there too. It's very important. Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet. I like at night in the summer when we come out here to shower when it's like 9:30 or something, it's starting to get dark. It's nice to come out here and you light the burner. It takes 10 or 12 minutes to get the water up to temperature, and at the same time when you light the burner you light all the lanterns and stuff, so when you come back out here it's all looking cozy and fun. So we'll probably get all that stuff set up. Some cool towel racks, probably made out of branches or something. Maybe some kind of massive bench. Oh, you know what I could use for that bench? I got another really cool log that's super bendy, and part of the tree was dead. Some of it's alive, it's all wrapped together. I've been saving, and it's so bent and funky that you probably only get one board out of the middle of it. But this might be a cool use for that, to make a really sweet bench there. Whatever, we'll figure it out. I got a bunch of other stuff I gotta do too, now that it's sort of becoming summer. I got a lot of winter stuff to put away and a lot of summer stuff to get out. I gotta clean out the gazebo down there. The generator roof, I don't know if this is a bad idea or not, But I also found really cheap just some roof tar, like a bucket. Although I think it doesn't stay tar. Maybe it's not actually tar. I think it does harden. Anyway, the roof over the generator is just boards. I was thinking of just painting the whole top of it just to see if it would work. But that'll be a fun thing to play with, see if you could make a roof with just boards and some slop. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you next week, regardless of what kind of asinine tomfoolery I'm up to. Thanks.